All right. Okay, so let's see. Oh, yeah. You're invited. I don't know what it says. Hi. We're just waiting for my friend Grace. Come on, Abby. Come on. Come on. There you are.
Hey,
Ugh.
how are you?
I put myself on here and my dog's going all crazy. Look at her. Hopping around like crazy. Yeah, so for like without getting into what I just found, that was crazy. While we were watching the live, I kept thinking something in the background and during Michael Vaughn's thing, and I kept thinking about the dude in Lador, and I was like, oh, I've got to check this out. I've got to check it out. I gotta plug it in. So I plug it in, and I'm like, okay, now I got this landowner, and what about the owner of the property that I had found a couple days ago? So I'm like, prospecting. You know, we were talking about prospecting, so I was like, well, maybe not. So I went into all these claims and found any of them that were close to Baker, and I was like, yeah, this is great. This is totally great. And Browning out of all things.
Yeah, that is wild.
And they do have connections in all the states. Like their states match, not their cities necessarily, but the states. Like I'm I'm thinking there's a connection. I mean, there's got to be. What if? Because Gail St. John, she said the
Well, you know what blew my mind was the fact that Stacy admitted that the plan was to sell Michael for money.
I know that's so disgusting.
That is awful.
I,
Like that's the first time, that's not the first time, but that's the first time in a long time that that's actually happened in a case. Like we always kind of suspect it because I think people are kind of hoping against hope that a missing person is somewhere well, and maybe he's just, somebody took him that really wanted him and those kind of things, which, rarely happens. But it, it just, to actually see that on paper was very chilling to me.
yeah.
And then it sounds like he was struggling, so they put duct tape on his face, and then maybe if he was in a fetal position and he had duct tape on his face, then his breathing would have been
Labor.
restricted.
Yep.
And that's called a positional asphyxiation.
Yes.
So if they left him like that all night long in that house, all alone, and he couldn't
Accidental,
move,
but
still murder,
Yeah, it's still murder. Now,
because it was wanton disregard, because you can't leave a 5-year-old alone
well,
with duct tape
if
in
he's
the
murdered,
duffel.
if he's like if there's an accident attached to a crime such as kidnapping and all that other stuff, it becomes murder and you lose manslaughter. That's good. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they all know what happened. Now did Stacy? I didn't catch that. Did Stacy say that he witnessed her hitting him? Like, did they hit him? Did they?
No, they kidnapped him. They kidnapped him to sell him. So apparently, Sarah saw the kid when she was driving around in the neighborhood. I think it was her and Adrian, if I remember correctly. And then So they saw Michael and grabbed him and took him in the house. And Michael was struggling, so they put duct tape. He was struggling and screaming, so they put duct tape on him. So he was alive.
This is
She
so
didn't hit
sad.
him with the car. There was no accident with the car.
I mean, to be honest, I'd rather there be an accident with a car, nothing at all, but like just the thought of that, that's so sad. I mean, because most of these cases that we deal with don't do that. They're not sold. There's just accidents that happen, usually with suspicious parents. So the parents aren't involved in this case. So it's really different and sad to see than what we're used to. It really is to see Brandy just break down and all the health problems she's been going through. It actually really tugs at your heartstrings.
It does. It's really sad. It's made me cry almost listening to that, but I just couldn't tear myself away. I wanted to hear
No,
and
you're
see, and I
fine.
got,
You're fine. I totally had in the background while I was researching, so uh, it was great. No, I'm just like I'm still shocked on what I.
yeah, I am too. We've waited so long. We all wondered what was happening with that case, and we couldn't figure it out. And then finally, this came out. Now, obviously, the host is she doesn't believe that they had. I'm not exactly sure what she believes. I kind of
I
feel like
I
she
don't
doesn't
believe.
believe that the
Yeah.
Wonders had anything to do with it, but maybe she believes that those friends of theirs did, and they're being set up by Adrian and Brendan.
Well, if Sarah is part of the kidnapping, then that's that. You know, it's not like he did it on his
So
own. He didn't have a
Adrian, it was
car.
Adrian's idea.
Well, she was a part of
And
it, though.
yeah, and that they would get $10,000 for their cut. Stacy and Sarah would.
Yeah, but who was offering the money?
Now that would be a question for Adrian. I would guess, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I also noticed on that same block. Okay, so remember I told you their neighbors were also pedophiles. It's legal to say that
Mhm.
because they really are. They're kitty corner from them. So not their house directly behind them, but the house directly behind them next door. Um, and then 2 to 3 houses like in the so it's like a big old circle loop thing, and they live
Mhm.
on each side. And then on the corner on the end, there's another one. There's another one. So you got husband and wife, and then you have another one, and they're all exploitation stuff. And it's like I don't know if they have met these people, if they were all doing this, because it's like all on the same block. So when you
Well,
go,
no.
go ahead.
Good. Well, I know that the neighbors knew the Wondras.
Well, that would
They
make
were
and
they
what
were
neighbors though? What neighbors are the ones that
Dorothy, the ones that have the couple that are
okay.
RSO.
Well, that's interesting because I swear that's how I don't know if it's because I just got on the neighbor thing like and just checked out who owned it and all that and then I don't know how I
But
did
it was
that.
also the neighbor, that very same neighbor that we're discussing, was the one that said that she saw Michael on the pink tricycle.
That's what I
So
thought.
she's throwing shade on them. Why aren't they throwing shade the opposite way? Because Stacy's not throwing shade towards anybody else,
There's
but
but
his own
somebody
wife.
must be the main person.
Who?
Somebody's got to be the main person. So, I
It
mean,
was Adrian.
think of it like Diddy. No one's gonna rat out Diddy, right? Like, wonder what the blackmail is. There's got to be enough blackmail on something. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a conspiracy, though. It seems like can you got Delphi out there that's like really, really big, and you have no idea what's going on, so your thoughts are just like all over. But here you got this, and it seems smaller than that. It seems like it's very solvable. It doesn't seem like it's like
You just don't throw out selling a child out of nowhere. That's not just something that comes to you. You'd have to actually know somebody whom you thought you could sell a child to even get that idea. Like, even if you were a really desperate junkie and you had a child, who would you sell it to?
we're allowed
Where
to
would
talk
you
about
go?
this part because I can't talk about too much. But what about Rebecca Cox? I mean, you do have Math. Is it Matthew? What's his name?
Brandon, shirtless.
Brandon. Brandon shirtless, he did live right across, no, right next door to the state cell. Yeah, across the street from a pedophile who was selling children, teenagers. And you know, it is weird to have a correlation. So when you sit there and try to figure out who would purchase these things, I think, you know, it makes you wonder. You can't rule it out.
That's my point exactly, because you and I, we don't know anybody like Rebecca Cox. So we would, if we had that idea to sell a child, we would have nowhere to go. We would have to like go out on the dark web and hope against hope we're not talking to an FBI agent, right? Like, who
Right.
would you sell a
And not a lot of
human?
people know who Rebecca Cox is and what she's got behind her past. She might, some people might actually know that she just has a charge. They might know what the charge actually contains, but they do not know when it started and how long and how bad it really was behind the scenes. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's information that's like, it's very serious. I mean, it's serious claims, but I believe the person who told me, and this stuff is bad, and it makes you wonder about other missing kids from the area.
Well, and it's just an incredible coincidence. It's an incredible coincidence that Brandon lived right. I mean, and everybody in that town knows Rebecca Cox. She owns the only restaurant in town.
Right. And she's a meth lab.
Everybody's eating at
And
that
we know
freaking
that
restaurant.
it is not hearsay. It is known fact. She was arrested twice for it. So
Mhm, mhm,
yeah. In 2000 something, 2020 something.
mhm,
Mm. What a crazy thing. Uh
mhm.
I don't know how many people are actually gonna join us, but so you want to talk
I
about
don't know.
anthropology?
Well, I
Or
mean, I just wanted to talk about the
not
crazy this crazy astrology lady, because wow, um, you know, she came in right before, because tomorrow Mercury goes retrograde. And when Mercury goes retrograde, you'll see a lot of weird claims in the media, like things that aren't true, like, you know, Bigfoot and all this kind of stuff. And you'll hear big lies. And, but sometimes stories, you know, will break. The true crime stories will break. A lot of times you'll have missing persons' bodies show up during a Mercury retrograde. But another thing that I have found, and this is in line with the theme of our podcast, Loose Threads, which is about people who insert themselves into crime stories and why they do it and what the effects of this are. And so, as you know, we just experienced this really funny um, uh, event where a lady tried to con a bunch of astrologers and psychics by
oh,
claiming that she had inside contact with the Amy Bradley family. And she wanted to get a bunch of astrologers together, and she wanted to have this big group meeting. And so she wanted to share all of the information at the same time. She didn't want to leak it privately to
right.
any particular astrologer. She just wanted to do it all at once. And so she was claiming that she had contact with Brad Bradley, Amy Bradley's brother, and that she was going to, you know, she wanted to get us all together and solve the case, I guess. And
With her
so,
with her claims of having birth dates and birth times, I mean, any astrologer is gonna want those because those are key things for them, you know. To, if someone really wants to help in a case like you and I, and you're an astrologer, I'm not, but if you heard that there's birth times and birth dates that you could use, you're gonna be on it, you know. So it was really attracting people, and unfortunately, you know, she doesn't know the Bradley family. I have a friend that is Amy's friend, and her name is Stacy Donovan, and she is awesome. She's very she does know the family, and so I was able to rule her out during this period of figuring out who this lady was. So we hopefully put a stop to her.
it was just crazy. And she got so emotional when she was found out. And I explained to her, I said, look, either you're being conned or you're trying to con us. But either way, the Bradley family doesn't know you
Right.
and they're not interested in an astrology reading. So I don't know what you want me to say to that, but you know, we're just not going to um, entertain this anymore. And so she
Right.
was blocked everywhere. But that just goes to show you that, you know, people want to help. And a good rule of thumb is, and one that private investigators often use, and you may remember this one, is you want to investigate your client first. You have to know who your client is before you can really understand what your client wants. And
Yes.
so, you know, she didn't really investigate her client to see if this really was someone with inside information. And so she got caught up in you know, something that kind of sucked her in. And that's the downside of trying to
Yeah.
reach out to um, insert yourself into these cases.
Well,
Hey,
there's
Jake.
also a chance that she was being messaging with a fake account that was claiming to be Brad Bradley, but Brad Bradley does not have a Facebook account that I know of, and that's what I've been told. And he does not want astrologers or psychics, and if he does, I said reach out. Um, you know, but yeah, I mean, maybe she was truly trying. Who knows? But if you are contacted and you're being sucked in like that, I would get a hold of Stacey Donovan. She's really credible. She's running the page of Amy Bradley, and she can verify that. So before you engage in anything, just seriously, yeah, you have to make sure you really do have to know who you're working with, because there's so many fakes out there, people out there that just want your screenshots just so they can turn it around and against you, you know. And in any case, the drama is so always in the very beginning. And I see a lot of that happening in Amy's case in the comments in some areas. Not so much drama because it's not revolving around a child, but there is still negative stuff in there, you know, whether she really drowned or all that. And I don't know, I just think that if you have questions, just ask. Don't put anything, you know, negative. Just ask. Don't join anybody. You don't know if they're fake.
Right.
it's it's sad. It's sad that you don't know who you could trust. But you know, with our experience, we've made friends, we've lost friends, we've made them back, they disappear.
Yeah.
They're still around somewhere. But it is what it
Sometimes
is,
sometimes we make enemies that turn into friends.
right? You and I were not really on the greatest start, but you know, once you adult with somebody, then it's a lot easier. You get somewhere with that. Especially that's the whole reason why people really step into these cases, is because they really want to help, and you can tell who's really there for attention or who's there for, you know, I don't know. I think if you're trying to slam yourself into the front line, I don't want to like say I did that, because I eventually took over a frontline seat, but I mean, for people out there just trying to put their name out there because they feel like they're important. Not really hopeful.
I think it's what your heart is like. Why? What is the reason why you are even doing anything for a true crime case if you're not directly affected? And I
Right.
think for a lot of us, we just want to help, and we want to get the missing person's name out there, and we I think our heart is in the right place.
Yeah.
It's when it stops being about that and it starts being more about you,
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
have to kind of, you know, take a step back. Or sometimes we're forced to take a step back, but
Right. And I
we
mean,
won't talk.
and arguing in cases, that is, to be honest with you, that is the it's like the worst form of wasting the victim's time, because pages are usually dedicated into helping find the person. We don't need opinions. We need facts. We need you to, like, you know, look into things. We need people to um you know, literally like be a little investigator. And if you're not willing to help, your opinion is really just taking up space. Uh, and when I say opinion, I don't mean just like a nice opinion. I mean like, or if you say, you know, something positive to the families, but just to come in there and say, oh, she drowned, you know, or or this or that, you're really just wasting time. And if you're arguing with the person who said something and you think now they're drama queens, and I mean, literally, it gets to the high school drama stuff, it's pointless. It's a waste of the victim's time. I stress that so much. It's so important that you want to talk to somebody and you want to ask what's going on instead of arguing. Just message them, be an adult about it.
Right. I completely agree.
It's super important. I mean, because Facebook, for example, a Facebook, if you don't have a blog or a website, Facebook becomes a huge scroll. So it's really important to stay on topic, and find a post that matches. Don't repeat the same post over and over again. Find a post that matches, and then put your opinion in there, so it's not like three times. I'm starting to want to like make websites for these cases, so it's not a 10-year scroll like the one I created. I have one for the Zaharias. I even have one for Amy Bradley, but that's for myself. It's for a that one's for like my own blog and to keep my notes instead of writing them down and then forgetting where they are. I write the same things down and add to it, and then I put them somewhere, and I just keep repeating my notes. So it's super important that
Basically, what my blog is when I do a forensic search. Sometimes I'll just go over and put it on the blog, and I won't even publish it. It's just there on my blog. I just write out what I'm seeing so that I have it somewhere. So.
Yeah, it's like a tree. It's like a timeline. You use it as a timeline, and then you can move it around if you need. On notes, you usually write it down, whether it's pen or pencil. You're either erasing it or you're crumpling up, adding it to a different one. It's so much better on a blog. But I can't afford websites, right? Like, so how do we do that? I'm not like
Well, you need to have one website and just different pages for each case. You're just going to have to do tabs on
I
one
still
website.
pay for website, and that's like $50 a month, and that's not because it's because I made it that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I added things to that one. So, I to have a basic one, you still have to have a premium plan kind of thing, and it's still like 20 something dollars a month. I think $30 a month, and whatever else you want to add on that becomes even more. So I mean, and then there are free ones, and I think that's a good idea. That's a good idea, actually, Grace. That's a good idea. Because then you're not trying to make multiple. It's kind of like the Charlie Project, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
but instead of in writing, you've got links to photo. I don't remember exactly
And
how
then
that.
the front page can just be whatever cases may have big news about it, but then you can take them to each individual. Then you can the links can take you to each individual page, and you can have one on Ayla, and you can have one on the Zaharias. You can have one on um,
Yeah,
Monkey. You can have one on
I
anyone,
mean
anybody.
the
We've
one that
got
I
some kind of
the one that's out there
inside.
that I have out there on the very back page, there is a missing children's thing. It's kind of like that, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think that instead of like, the tabs that are up on the top, home this, home that, breaking news or whatever, I think that would be super cool.
Mhm.
And you can actually have a main page for breaking news. For example, Michael Vaughn, might be seeking, maybe getting justice or, whatever it is, but like being able to put his news on there, and then as something else comes in and, the first three, and then eventually it goes in order, that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
That sounds like a good idea, actually. That's something that I'm really good at. I can get better at
Mhm.
it. I feel like I can definitely get better at it, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's a good
And
start.
that's something we can discuss with Val tomorrow too. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
really
So
gonna.
like stuff like that, reuniting family and friends, and I kind of miss that, but there's no need for that anymore. Like people are able to do that on their own now. Before it was like nobody knew. I had to sit there and I'm like dialing zero. And you're only allowed what, one city and one state at a time. And I'm just like I'm like this, And then okay, and then I call back, and how about this, and then it became 411, and then eventually the internet, and I was like, this is awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, people can do it in a matter of just seconds. So it's like now you know what we need is, I mean, I like having a working page too. You know, having like where people there can be a working page too, the same page where you can send in tips and and you can make sure that they get to a certain place because we're good at that too and whatever it
Andy's
is.
Andy's a real good web site designer.
Sweet. Well,
Mhm.
we should collaborate.
Anything we want to do, anything we want to do, Andy can help us do it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Honestly.
Because
So like,
I'm a visual person. When I go to like Denny's and I'm looking at I have to see what I'm about to eat. Like I do not like to just read what my food's gonna be. I literally have to see pictures, or else I'm probably not gonna order it unless there's no pictures and I'm just find the most familiarest thing ever. Um, like yeah, I go to Denny's a lot and I love all their photos and it's easier to pick. So when I'm building a website, I like to be visual about it at the same time. So not it's not about catchy. It's also about reading it better, like a story. I think, but also have like the police department's information in there, all in one little thing. I think that's so super cool. But I still can't pay for it, so we'll have to make it like a Wix.com or something.
we'll figure that out. Don't worry about that part.
Yeah, yeah. So Amy Bradley, I really do think she's going to be found. I have this really good feeling. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon, but I think at least if not found, but like answers.
I think we're getting close. I do. I think there's enough heat being put on it at least.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm just hoping that it doesn't die down because things like this do die down. Like after a while, it's to people a new case pops up. That's all it takes. Like that's all it takes is for for like you for Ayla, the next case popped up. Then Summer
Hmm.
Wells, then all of these others, Michael Vaughn, and then then you got oh gosh, Sebastian Rogers, then all these kids, and it's like everybody shifts their focus from one child to another, and most of people do have two or three children on their mind at a time, but and they're always just looking for updates. But really, I mean, someone just I think adopting a child, a missing person, or a child is super super important because if you feel like you have skills, like crime con skills, you could totally do it. I believe in people.
Yeah. I know you do. And I just feel like I just want to bring awareness to it. And I like how astrology mirrors what's happening in the real world. And so I think other people might find that fascinating too. And so I like
Well,
to
let's talk
share.
about your astrology. What does your astrology say in this case? That's not a public thing, and well, I know you're a real astrologer, so and if people who know who I am, then they'll know probably who you are, and if not, hopefully they'll trust me that I know who you are.
Yeah, well,
So
I've only been doing this since
yeah,
2008. So yeah,
yeah, you really,
I'm a
really get
real astrologer.
yeah.
Um,
You'll like
what
see
I
things and be like, "What's wrong?" And I'll be like, "How did you know?"
Well, I see that she was taken. I see that she was. I do see signs of trafficking, and I see signs of kidnapping, and I see signs of people on the ship being involved. So, without the chart actually in front of me, I can't really give you any more concrete than that. It might be fun to do that if we start getting an audience.
Yeah,
We can
right.
bring up the charts and we can take a look at where all the little planets and asteroids are sitting and what they mean and how they can show what's happening on Earth, like their mirror as below, so above, right? And and a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, Mars, Mars was square Pluto, and so that's why this happened." The planets don't cause anything,
Right.
right? The
No.
planets mirror the energy that was going on at the time. So,
Right.
because of the energy going on at the time, Mars was square Pluto, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how I like to look at it. Um, and sometimes charts are really easy to read. It's almost like a picture, and I can almost just see what happened.
It's so
And then
different
other,
from psychic too, because
yeah,
psychic comes from the mind, and this comes from literally just numbers and in all this astrology stuff.
yeah, yeah, GPS and coordinates and
And it's
latitude and
been used
longitude and
by,
all
it's been
that.
used
Right?
by since way, way, way back in the day when, before
Mhm. Yeah,
almost.
it's been around for thousands of years, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Right, right.
And people can bitch, moan, groan, and complain about it all they want, but it's real. And if you use it properly, it's a tool. And
If you use it properly, that's the right thing to say.
if you go crazy about it and go, oh, no, I can't leave my house today, you know, then yeah, maybe you shouldn't be into astrology.
Right. Right. That's like me contacting a psychic every day. How's my life gonna be? And man, do I know somebody that was like that? And I'm just like, please, please, seriously, if you cannot wake up every day and live your own life, like, and not count on psychic information, because no one should count on anything. Everything should be taste, with a grain of salt, regardless. And for what do you call that? Entertainment purposes only. But I believe in both things actually. So yeah, and I've seen your astrology work. So carry
And
on. Sorry, I just totally cut you off there.
it's pretty interesting. Yeah, but I think Amy Bradley was trafficked. I really do.
Yeah.
And I saw little Michael Vaughn being hidden by a woman, but I, yeah, just I didn't really see what we found out tonight. That was pretty interesting.
Now, how does I don't know Evie, how do you say your name? My phone's
Her
on.
name is True Crime with Eve, and she's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. And so, how does she like an investigator? Does she like know the
Yeah,
family?
she's an investigator, but she's also into the paranormal. So she does like um, the ghost box kind of readings. I've seen her do some of those,
Oh, what
and
kind of
she's
star?
had psychics on, and she's had astrologers on. But she is just a lot like you, and she just really investigates stories and really gets in deep. And I believe she's even had contact with Stacy Wondra. She's actually spoken with him and even gotten some documents
Oh,
from him.
he's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the one that just got arrested for the
No,
murder.
no, your friend or the
Yes,
YouTuber. She's the one
David
that.
had been talking to him,
Nice,
and,
nice.
and she had done a Freedom of Information request on the um, probable cause, and she didn't think she would get it, but it came through. So
On an
you're
open case.
on an open case. Yeah.
What the heck?
Well,
I'm
did you
so
notice the date?
jealous.
Did you notice the date? It was dated back in June, so they
I
had
was
taken that.
researching the background while I was listening to her.
Yeah, no, I was too. I was writing everything down, all the dates and times down, so I could look at it later. But yeah, she said that it was dated June 12th of 2025, and then because they thought, see, Brandy is sick, I believe, with some kind of liver cancer, and so they thought she might not be
Right.
um, going to make it, and so they were going to arrest everyone. And then I guess she got to feeling better, and so then they delayed it. And then I think Stacy was getting ready to get out, be paroled, and so that's why they decided to go ahead and arrest him when they did. And then I just found out tonight that I think Brandon is getting out December 5th. So he'll be released from whatever jail. So I bet you anything we'll see his arrest coming soon. And then I don't know about this Adrian. I've never really heard too much about him.
When people get arrested like this, are they allowed? How does discovery process come about?
Yes, once they're arrested and they're arraigned, and their attorney makes up their an appearance, says I'm the attorney, then the district attorney is required at that point to turn over all everything at that point to the defense attorney,
I
and
hope
then
it's
at that point
Anthony case. I
the
really hope they have
defendant.
enough evidence. I really do.
It really didn't sound like they had a whole lot of evidence.
It still doesn't.
They don't have DNA. I mean, they have the they just have dog hits, it seems to me, and then
Yeah.
the confession.
And confessions
And
and
the
dog.
confession is pretty strong. I mean, that's pretty strong confession.
Confessions are just confessions, and you can retract those at any point. And they could have been arguing with each other and literally just throwing each other under the bus to get them arrested because they hate each other now. It could be anything, and so I'm worried about that. I mean, yeah, Chris McDonough was on the phone with him the whole entire time, but he likes to put himself out there anyways. I really just I don't know. I'm really worried. I mean, that's the reason why some of our cases are not solved, is because of such. There's not enough evidence, and we don't want to do another Casey Anthony thing where they just don't pay for their crime.
Mhm.
So I really hope that this isn't just because someone's sick and we're in a rush.
Right? I hope so too, but
Because we already knew this information several years ago, a couple years ago. A lot of this information was out already. And why now? That's the thing. Why now? Like, what do they have now since 2000, what, 22 or 23? What do they have now versus then?
I don't know. It sure wasn't anything in that probable cause affidavit that was new.
Yeah. Yeah, just, I'm a little
There
worried
was
about
no confession by Brandon. There was no confession by Adrian. There's really not been any confession by Sarah, except for her saying, God told me that Stacy did it. That's not really a confession.
And the fact that they found cadaver sent in the back. I mean, how many dogs did they have back there? I think they said that they had three, two, three. No, I don't remember. Um,
Okay. So let's talk about the dogs, because I think that the big reveal supposedly was this air scent dogs, right? But they did it 7 days after Michael went missing, and the dog went straight from Michael's house to the Wondrous house.
no way.
Now, I asked Chat GPT, of course, take that with a grain of salt because it likes to hallucinate. But I asked it, and it had rained within those 7 days there in Idaho. And so I asked ChatGPT, would air scent dogs be able to track live scent dogs? I guess they're called live scent dogs. Would live scent dogs be able to track a person 7 days after they went missing after a rain? And it was like, well, highly doubtful, because the rain would wash away all of the scent. And I know that Eve was pondering, and there were some people in the chat that were pondering, well, maybe it was on Eve's clothes, but that's not how live scent dogs work. It wouldn't be just a scent that was on Brandy's clothes that she was walking through the neighborhood handing out flyers.
Oh,
And
no, I did not understand that at
it's
all.
something
No,
about
that's not the
it's
case.
something about that they follow a cone of scent, that when we walk, we leave a cone of scent. And these specially trained dogs can pick up on that live scent. It's not
7 days
where
later.
we've been. It's not where we've been, like on the ground, which like tracker dogs would do. And it's not cadavering dogs, because they're only looking for cadavering. This is called a live scent dog, and they follow something called a cone of scent in the air that people leave. And supposedly, it followed Michael's scent from the corner where he was supposedly seen, knocking on the neighbor's door on the end of his street there, all the way to the Wondrous house.
But okay,
Nowhere
so 7 days later, 7 days after Michael is missing, the
else.
the dogs are picking up at the Wanderer's house. But how did the Wanderers become suspicious to the law enforcement? Because of that, or because of
Supposedly, it was because the reason why they became suspicious was because Brandon Shirtliff was seen walking around. And so there was a man seen walking around the neighborhood. They caught him on some the CCTV cameras. They saw him walking around the neighborhood, and so they tracked down who he was. And he said, "Well, my name is Brandon, and I was looking for the missing kid." The only problem was he was seen on camera before the 911 call went out. So how did he know there was a missing kid? So that's what brought attention to that house. So that happened on October 1st, I believe. Let me look at my notes. I wrote some notes down.
That's crazy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
wait. So there's no cameras around
Yes.
Monkey's house at all?
No, no.
Just
There were no
around
cameras that saw
the
Monkey, but there
neighborhood
were cameras that saw the
around.
neighbor's car, Dorothy, go in and out. They saw Sarah and Stacy's car going in and out, and they saw Brandon shirtless walking around the neighborhood. That's
Now, okay,
all
I
the
know they had a
CCTV.
car, but in what we just watched said it had a truck. Which one is it? I always thought it was
It's
a
a
car.
it's a truck.
It's a
It's an
truck?
SUV. It's an SUV. It's like a Ford Explorer kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Not like a
Yes.
little compact car.
No. She had a compact car, but they had a truck. They took the truck. Sarah was in the car when she went home. She was seen in her car, not the truck, in her car, entering the area. And then they were all three seen leaving in the truck. They all left. They went to Kuna, Idaho, and then they hauled a white Mercedes back with them and parked it in front of the house. And supposedly, as you heard in the probable cause affidavit, they took Michael with them and they left Michael in that house alone.
Wow. That would explain the duct tape. I was
Yeah.
I was kind of horrified to like why does he have duct tape? If you accidentally, I always thought that he was hit by the car, and I didn't understand the duct tape to all I kept thinking was is this a finishing off situation like other cases that we know, or is this like yes, that makes a lot more sense, and that's so oh my god, blonde hair, blue eyes, like
Mm-hmm.
who's requesting this? What kind? I mean, I hope they were able to like go through his phone, all of his devices, because this is something you don't just get $10,000 offered to you and you don't have someone offering it to you.
Yeah, that's an awful specific amount. Like they already knew how much their share would be, which means that it was a bigger piece of the pie because they would only get a share of it because it would have been split right four ways between Brandon and Adrian and whoever else. I mean, whoever else was making the connection. So the kid would have been sold for a lot more money, don't you think?
What if it was the neighbors?
Why would they take the baby all the way to Kuna, Idaho if they were selling it to the neighbors when they just take it right next door?
Wait, whose house is in Kuna?
The Brandon Shirtlift's mother's house is in Kuna, Idaho.
And that's where he was left?
And that's supposedly where he was left overnight.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
And then
why would
supposedly they brought
no,
him back and then buried him in the backyard
why
where
would you even
cadaver
put him at the why
dogs
would you even
sit.
put him that close to your residence? I'm sorry, but you I'm not a killer by any means, but if I watch enough crime shows, the last thing I'm gonna do is put a body in my yard.
I mean, he wasn't found there. And
Right.
so
Even if it's a holding spot, like
maybe they really didn't. Who knows?
there wasn't. And if Stacy saw all that, which she was pretty descriptive about what he
Mm-hmm.
saw.
Well, it's a lot of detail for somebody making something up.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. Duct tape. Yeah, that's a lot of detail. That is. That's a lot of detail. And it just yeah. Why would you who's out there in Kuna, Idaho?
how close is Kuna, Idaho to Leodore?
Oh, I don't
I didn't
know.
even think about that.
Are you in front of your computer? Here,
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
turning.
computer.
I'm gonna look. I am going to look at that one, girlfriend, because wow.
I know, I just made the Browning connection. This is really interesting stuff now. I'm like all over Idaho stuff. Oh, I can't wait tomorrow. I told you I asked Chase if I can post in certain groups about other missing kids because in those certain groups, other people do post missing kids.
Well, it's quite a ways away.
Oh,
It's hella in the wrong direction.
the
It's about four
opposite.
hours. Yeah,
Oh, there
it's
might
about
be free soul food.
yeah.
Hmm.
How far is it from Fruitland?
A while. Hmm.
Who
I
Fruitland
mean,
is
Luna is probably closer to Fruitland.
no about an hour. Only about an hour away. So it's about as far as Leodore is from Idaho Falls.
Yeah. So why would you drive all the way? Unless he did he need something from his mom's house? Did something
No, they just that was
happen?
just their plan was to put him there because I guess it's alone and his mother wasn't at home, so there wouldn't be anybody to hear him. And then they would,
Is
I
it,
don't know,
is it, maybe it's just a hold.
wait for their people to pick him up, or I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know when they realized he was gone. They didn't really make a lot of sense. They didn't really go into a lot of detail in the probable cause affidavit to say what exactly, when exactly they realized he was dead. Was it before they left for Kuna? After they put him in the duffel bag?
Oh yeah, right. That's a good question to know.
Or was it after they got back to, when they got to Kuna and they put him in that room? Or was it when they went back the next morning?
Was his nose covered? I mean, those are things that
Uh,
you know.
mhm.
I don't know. I mean, it's just tragic. It's tragic because now it sounds like he suffered, and I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that too.
I mean, it's the reality. It's there's enough sugarcoating out there. It's it's sick. It's sad. It's twisted. It's to take all those adults to be a part of that whole situation to know about it. It's like it's like certain grandparents' friends that we know.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kills me that some people, when this happens in their family or to their friends, and they see hinky things behind the scenes, but they don't say anything. And maybe what they're seeing isn't something that definitively proves that their friend did anything,
Right.
but at the same time, I think people need to know and they need to not hide that kind of stuff.
It seemed like they were running, not the Wanderers, but the other two.
Hmm.
Or Brandon. What one of them at least was running.
Yeah, Adrian was hiding and
Yeah,
he wouldn't give them, he was hiding something.
he was
So
freaked
I
out.
think Adrian was the ringleader as far as all this stuff was
You know what
concerned.
this reminds me of? This reminds me of like Summerwell's dad, Don, how he's like all of a sudden, they're like all about Savior and this and that, and it was all about church and God and and then like you have Amy Bradley, you have Yellow, who's now a pastor. You have all these people who do really bad things all of a sudden like hide under the religion's, title. Is that a way? You notice that? Like,
Well,
people
I just from personal experience, I think it's just a way to assuage their guilt because standard regular Christianity
right.
preaches that if you confess your sins to God, doesn't say anything about going to the police, but if you confess your sins to God, that He is just and He will forgive you. And so they think all I have to do is just I've done this horrible thing. I don't want anybody to know, but if I just pray, God will forgive me. But then once they pray and God forgives them, then they think, well, I've got to act really, really blameless now because if I don't, then people might suspect me. So they use it as sort of a shield, but it's also to assuage their guilt because they think, well, God forgives me, so man has no room to judge me. So they feel
Also obvious,
vindicated.
though, you know?
Mhm.
Makes you
It
forget,
is obvious.
look, like, was he always religious? Like, Dawn did not come across as a religious person whatsoever. I'm sorry. And then as soon as Summer was gone, it was like all about it.
Well, they did go to church a little bit before she.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sad cases. See all these little babies.
yeah. It is.
Look.
Well, it's getting late,
Hey.
and I got work tomorrow.
Alrighty. Hopefully someone
But we
responds.
should do this again next Sunday. We should just do it once a week. Just get on here and chat, and we should post things on your TikTok saying, "Hey, join us on Sundays live." True.
I'll
Let's make
post
some
it up.
posts like that this week, and we'll meet up again, and hopefully we'll have more information on more cases.
Great. You can always put it up on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'll have to share it with you unless you were able to grab it, but I'll share it with you just in case.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say good night.
Good
See you
night.
later.
I don't even know how to get off
Bye.
this. How do I get off this thing?
I don't know.
Bye, everybody.